What's up, everyone? I'm back. I'm ready for round two. I don't know. I really like this. I think this is a really cool subreddit idea, and I've never really told my stories to anyone other than my close friends. So, anyways, I didn't really get to introduce myself last time. Sorry about that. I just really wanted to get into talking about my penis. I guess that's just me being in college. But yeah, so I'm Danny. I'm 20 years old, and I'm a junior at the College of Charleston. Pretty cool, right? That's really all I need to say, though. I mean, you're just gonna slowly learn about me through my stories. So, the story right now I'm going to tell you. It's the first and only time I've ever been in a fight. And a fight's kind of a silly way to put it, but I love telling this story to people. So, it goes back to 2009. Is that right? Yeah, it was the winter of 2009, right after Christmas. And, that was a really awkward time. I was back in high school. I didn't really have many friends back then. I was a lot of a different person. I really wasn't this open about anything, so... And I was at my friend Grant's house. Let me just introduce all the characters really fast in this story. There was me, of course. Look at me, Golden Knight. You can't hate this. But there was Grant. Grant was my best friend throughout high school. He was just my Rock of Gibraltar, the person I could always talk to. He was just great. Thing is, he was awkward, couldn't talk to girls. We were all just this big awkward group. But he had the same love for video games that I had. Basically, whenever me and the other friends would go to his house, we'd just play Halo or Super Smash Brothers for 5 or 6 hours straight and get jacked up on caffeine, on Dr. Pepper and Coke and just a shit ton of caffeine and soda. But yeah, so there was Grant, and there was our other friend Eric. Eric was we were a triad of best friends, honestly. But both me and Grant had this weird love-hate relationship with Eric. He was just as awkward. He talked to girls, but he never really did anything. He had a girlfriend for a week once, and we were all just oh my god, how'd you do it? But yeah, so he did that, and he was just as awkward as us still. He was really, I don't know, he wasn't pretentious, he was just rude, honestly. That's why we didn't really like him, but people are people. And he also really loved video games, so I mean, that helped out. Plus, he and I had this relationship because I introduced him to anime and manga, and that was all we did in high school was talk about that. And, yeah, so... And then there was Ryan. Ryan was supposed to be Grant's brother. Grant's parents were going to adopt him, but they didn't because Ryan wasn't doing well in school. And then he just hung out with Grant occasionally. Then there was Michael, who was Ryan's actual brother, and he had this weird mixture of ADHD and Tourette's, and we didn't really see him much, so we didn't really, I don't know. I never really talked to him a lot except then. It's weird, but anyways. So back to the story. So it's back in 2009, wintertime. And we did this thing where Grant lived on top of in this kind of rich neighborhood on top of a really high hill, and we'd walk down the hill and go to these more suburban-y middle class neighborhoods. Kind of nice houses. Some of them were pretty nice, but was still upper middle class area. And we'd go find their decorative reindeers that they still had up after Christmas. And we'd get Grant or Eric, one of them, and they would just go and hump the reindeers while we took pictures, and we thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. We took so many pictures of this. There was the most hilarious picture was, one house had a reindeer set up so that, a spotlight would put its shadow on the side of their house, and it was this huge shadow of a reindeer. And we got a picture of Grant humping it, so there's this huge shadow of just this reindeer getting, its brains fucked out. It's hilarious. I wish I had that picture. But anyways, so we're doing this. We basically just went around and fucked around in the neighborhoods. We didn't do anything like vandalism. We were too awkward for that. But we just go walk around, make lots of noise, and just generally be annoying. And anyways, so we were doing that. And we, reindeer gamed this one neighborhood, took a few pictures, left the neighborhood, and went to another one a bit farther down the street. And we saw this, house with its garage open. And we're just hey, Eric, you should go inside it. And he just felt peer pressure. I mean, honestly, I probably would have done it if someone asked. So we walk in. So, he walks over, and as soon as he walks in the garage, this shadow figure comes out and be hey, what are you kids doing? And we're just what do we do? So we just all tensed up, took a step back, just what would typically happen. And then our friend Michael, who I told you has the Tourette's ADHD mix, he just shouts, "Oh fuck, run!" And he and Ryan take off. So I just followed suit. I figure that's what anyone would do in that situation, is just take off afterwards. But so I did that, Grant did that, and then Eric just stammered around in front of the guy for a bit, and the guy just said, "I'm gonna fucking call the cops on you kids," and he just walked back in. Eric just took off. Grant slowed down to stick up with him, and me, Michael, and Ryan just ran ahead and just tried to get back to the neighborhood as fast as we could. We sprinted for like a good 3/4 of a mile. It was kind of a hot mess. So we did that. Grant and Eric slowly catch up. I mean, I guess we technically ditched him. I don't know. There was just so much like adrenaline in that situation that I'm not saying I was the good guy or the bad guy, but anyways. So we get there. We wait on the hill that we go down to get in Grant's neighborhood, and we just wait for them to catch up. We're catching our breaths. We just sprinted. We're all out of shape. Oh, it was not the best situation. So we do that. They catch up, and we start walking up the hill. As we're walking up the hill, I feel like a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around and be like, oh, who wants to talk to me? And as soon as I turn around, I just get a fist to the face from Eric. And I just like, I don't fall down, but I recoil a lot, and just like, put myself back, and I'm just like, did that just happen? Like, I just need a second to catch up. He just fucking sucker punched me. Like, I don't know why he sucker punched me out of anyone. My mouth is bleeding a bit, and before I can even say anything, I just reel back my fist and just punch him in the face. Like I said, we have this love-hate relationship, so honestly just took all the hate I had for him and just threw it into that punch. I just hit him right between the eyes. He wore glasses, and he got really pissed off that I punched him. I mean, I probably could have blinded him, but honestly, I was just so enraged in that situation. So yeah, so we just bitched at each other about the whole situation while we're walking back up to Grant's neighborhood. And yeah, that was like the first fight I was ever in. Like, honestly, tensions stayed pretty high for that time because we were both talking to the same girl, and in the end I won, so he got pissed off. I mean, how could you say no to his face? But yeah, so first fight I've ever was in, fist to fist. Oh, that sounds kind of dirty. But yeah, it was just a really silly fight. Like, it was just a bunch of socially awkward kids fighting. Like, I wish someone videotaped that. Probably could have gotten like a couple million YouTube views then. But anyways, yeah, first story. So anyways, I'm gonna peace out, y'all, and I hope you enjoyed. Maybe I'll come back for a third one. Or should it still recording? It tastes like Pop Rocks.